I want to get to this one, Barnaby. We heard you say that you were arguing, and I'm sure you were arguing in the previous 9 years of the coalition government to go to nuclear. But Scott Morrison, then Prime Minister in the last few years, said to you, no, the polls don't support it. Can you tell us a bit about that conversation and what it tells you about the Morrison government?
Most definitely, I had a meeting with the then Prime Minister Scott Morrison, and I said, I was pushing forward nuclear, and he said, well, look, here's the polling, and it's not popular. Now, my view is that the art of politics is to lead the polling, not follow the polling. And I'm not trying to be sort of holier than thou then, but I think it's very honest when people ask you an honest question to give them an honest answer, and that is an honest answer. Now, we've continued on with that pursuit, lobbying for nuclear power, and a great credit must go to so many people such as David Gillespie, the Nationals in general. David Littleproud's done a lot of work in that space, and of course Matt Canavan, who's been brilliant, and I did my part. And what we're making sure, Keith Pitt, incredible. What we've done is now move the debate so there is support for nuclear power. And as people, most cogent people say, as I hear new facts, and they're different to what I knew, I changed my mind, what do you do? And people have changed their mind, and now we're seeing an overwhelming move towards support of nuclear power. Just so people know, we're talking that in the past we had black rocks that boiled water that created steam that turned a turbine, coal, and now we've got a different rocks that boils water that creates steam that turns a turbine, like they do in so many other countries that have vastly cheaper power than us. And I'll give you a working example of a country that started going down the intermittent power path and shut down their nuclear power plants. It's Germany, and their power price last year was 41% higher than the rest of Europe. So there's a working example of where Australia's off to, and unless the Australian people say enough of this madness, we want to make sure that poor people are not impoverished further, humiliated further, that we actually have a manufacturing industry, that we, in a nation that has to become as powerful as possible, as quickly as possible, we don't make ourselves powerless, and you cannot run a full-time economy on part-time power. Let's get some sanity back into this debate. Unless we do that, we're going to head off a cliff.
Barnaby, Joyce, thank you so much for your time.
Always a pleasure.